Well, mailbag time. I'll probably be adding more on at the end of this as well, but let's just see what we've got in this one right now. As always, I'll give you links down below for things if I can give you links to them. Let's see what we've got in here. Trying to find the safest edge. I think I'll have to do it over here. Well, I followed my instructions, which is to sandwich it in cardboard. So, well done. It's not perfect protection, but it's better than no protection, which is what I've had before on other items. What do we have here? We have the Keithley 220 instruction manual. So it's also got the service information apparently in there as well. This is version C from 1984. I have a 220 which I showed in the mailbag recently, and I haven't actually done repair work on it. It does need refurbishing, repairing and things like that. I always like to get a physical manual for something I'm going to keep. You know, if it's a nice piece of test gear which I'm going to be keeping, I'll try and get a manual for it. I mean, it's not cheap getting these manuals, and I think this one's about $100 it cost me, right, to get this manual. I had an electronic manual already. I was able to find that online. I always like to get a physical manual if I can. Now, what I also need to figure out is whether this is the correct version to suit my unit. I mean, so this is 1984. I may have a earlier or later unit. So, I mean, this is a nice basis for a manual, because I doubt it would have changed much over time. But if my unit is later, I may actually need to get a different manual. I don't know. Another box. Let's just rip into it this way. Now, I did say to put it in cardboard, but they put rubber wrap around it inside a decent cardboard box. So this is the manual for the Datron 1081. Now, I actually have a 1082, which I've done a video on. I've done multiple videos on Datron multimeters. Lots of repairs on those, different ones. Done a lot of 1062s, but I've also done, what was it, 1065, 1071, 1081, something like that, 182. I don't know. I've done quite a few of them anyway. I was losing track. But I wanted to get a proper manual for my meter. Now, I've got the 1082. This is 1081. They're basically the same thing. There's not much in it. Was that got a label on there? Who knows? Let's peel that off. It's actually got a comment up here saying first used in 1061, 1071. What drawing is this one? Oh, display board stuff, yeah, because that's all exactly the same between all the units. Yeah, so it's always nice, exactly the same as I was saying before, having physical manuals. Now, I saw this one on eBay, and I thought, actually, I'm going to grab that, because I didn't actually have a physical manual for that particular multimeter. I've got ones for the 106.1s, 106.2s, and things like that. But I didn't have one for this particular multimeter, which is what I quite like having. I had an electronic version, but getting a physical one's always nicer. Shame it's got a bit of a tear up here. Bit of a shame, but it's not a big a deal. There's a lump here. What's that lump? There's a fuse and an Allen key. No calibration key. It's a shame. It would have been nice if the calibration key was still in there. It's always nice having spare calibration keys. Anyway, so yeah, another physical manual. Excellent. Now, one of these boxes I've got here is a review item for a brand new type of probe, which I'll get to. So make sure you stick around, because that's quite an interesting thing. If I can get into this box. Plenty of bubble wrap protection and cardboard. Great. Now, it's a Model 220 programmable current source. Now this is the same as this, except it's later revision. It looks newer, so I've got two manuals. I kind of got overboard or got a bit carried away, as I sometimes do. So let's look at this. I mean, this is still packed, right? Still sealed. So for some reason I thought this is a later version. Maybe it's because of the way it appears. So let's just actually try and get into this carefully, so I don't damage anything, and try and figure out which version this is. Got a registration card, I can register it. This is Rev.G, alright, Rev.G. Although it says 1982 originally, then 1992 down the bottom there. So, great, so this is a much later version. So I've got an earlier version and a later version of the manual. Better be circuit diagrams in here. Yes, there is, great. So that's excellent. There's a 1988 modification on that diagram. There's an 84, that shows Rev.G, which is what I saw in the other one as well. 84. So there may not be much difference here. Some 86 modifications on this diagram. Power supply. So great. So there are some differences between the two manuals. I didn't waste some money because they were both about $100 each, like I was saying. So I'm glad I got those. That should cover me on. This is a much nicer manual, this one. Anyway, yeah, I think I'll carry it away there. 3 manuals. There's more than just manuals, I promise. I said I promise there's more than just manuals, but I suspect this is also a manual. Because I've purchased a few manuals recently. Went on a bit of a manual splurge. Because I've been buying some equipment recently, so I bought some manuals to go with them all. So let's have a look. We've got some rubbishy foam. Bit of bubble wrap. On the top, right, this is not Defpom proof. Sitting on the top, and it's sitting in the bottom of the box, just like that. Nothing wrapped around it. Yeah. Not Defpom approved. 617 manual. Now I've got a, it's a 35617 EBS. It's the same thing, basically, but it's got a different functionality. It's got like a modification built into it from the factory. So it's an electrometer. So it's got a triax connector on the back and stuff like that, and I showed that in the mailbag previously. And the one I've got needs repair. This is version G, which I think matches my unit. I think my unit was version G as well on the boards. So I'm hoping this is the manual which is actually applicable to my version. This is 1988 on that diagram there. That's alright, but at least I've got diagrams for it. I've got the full manual. I've got electronic manual anyway. I always like to get a physical manual for something I'm going to keep. So I intend to keep this thing. So the idea of this and the 220 is that they're precision instruments. They're quite important for doing calibrations of some other equipment. That's why I even purchased those things in the first place. There's a piece of equipment I want to calibrate, and sometimes you need a decent piece of gear to calibrate another piece of gear. General multimeters don't always cut it. These have got very high input impedances, for example, or this has at least, and so that matters depending on what you're doing. So anyway, that's why I've got those bits of gear, and that's why I've got these manuals, because I'm going to keep them because I think they're going to be invaluable going forwards. I probably should have got this sorts of things years ago, but I'll just go around to it. Anyway, we've got another box. Hey, it's got my name on it. Lovely. Right. I'm going to waffle on about this for quite a while, I think. There will be a proper review video as well. Power adapter, nice, useful. Information, measurement report, and the actual device. So this is an engineering sample because these aren't for sale yet. They will be for sale very soon, and there will be a link. But there's a promotion they're going to be doing to raise funding to make these things, to make them commercial product. They've sent me one of the samples, and I know they've sent these to a few people, so I'm just one of them. I think they renamed it or something. They changed the name, and so they've just relabeled this. But I think the final boxes will be correct, obviously. And this is just a sample for me. So this is on Euler precision. I guess yes, you pronounce it Euler. And it's a special device. Let's see how we get into this. Very nice case. And like I said, I will be doing a proper review on this. This is just a preliminary look. Bit of a teaser. Like I said, this is an engineering sample, and so they're still doing development work on this, and it is basically ready, I think. I think they're still tweaking things here or there as they're going along. So what we actually have is a 3 GHz active probe. So it's got a BNC jack on this end, so you can use it on any scope. Let's just untangle this. And there it is. So it actually has a battery inside it as well. It's battery powered. Battery is not currently charged. They've already told me they've shipped it in a low state for shipping purposes. So the battery will need charging up before you go to use it. But you've got a little probe terminal there. You can hook up cables with these. So you've got these little adapters here, the UFL connector on that one there, little threaded connection there, and there's some other accessories in here, some little flexes and stuff for hooking up to circuitry. Now, when you talk about active probes like this sort of thing, you're talking about super high precision, right? You're talking about really fine measurements, and it's like another level completely. Yeah, you know, even the way you connect to the circuitry is super important. So this is why you've got all these special probes and things like that in here. We've also got a little stand 3D printed stand, mount the probe on this, then that supports all the cabling and stuff, so you can mount it where you need to, so it's not like laying on top of circuitry and stuff, and you can stand up nearby. And also you got a little power supply here with a USB-C cable and power supply, nothing special there, but that's obviously why they supplied an adapter, so I can plug it in without any issues. I imagine that when you get one of these from them officially when doing the final units and they're actually available for sale, I imagine you'd be able to get a local USB supply with it. I don't know, I can't really speak for them really, to be honest, but it's just USB-C, so you should be able to use any USB-C power supply you've got laying around even. Very interesting device, so I'm looking forward to having a play around with this. Now this is, in a way, outclassing anything else I actually have. Now my highest spec scope is 500 megahertz scope, but it does up, I think it goes up to like 640 megahertz or something, 3 dB point. In reality, this probe is, you know, way better than my scope in a way, but when you're doing certain measurements, the bandwidths do matter a lot. Really nice. I'm looking forward to using this. Now, the thing with these sorts of probes, they are fragile. You have to treat them carefully. You know, all active probes, they have input voltage limitations and things like that. Like this particular one's got a 25 volt max, plus or minus 25 volt max input limitation, which is quite a common thing. Like all have limitations on input voltage. It's not like a standard probe because they've got an active input on them. So you don't want to blow the front end up of your probe. Anyway, like I said, I'll be the proper review of this, so I'll link that down below when it comes out. And also I'll link down to their site for this thing. And I'll be doing a proper review. And I'm going to have to spend a lot of time playing around with this thing, actually using it, familiarise myself with it and trying to figure it all out. They've actually sent me a lot of information to support it. So this is the actual test report for this particular probe. It's got the serial number and everything on it as well. So, very nice. And it shows measurements and frequency response things of this active probe. So this, I'm guessing, this is what you get with each probe you buy when they do make them available. You would actually be able to get these custom reports for your device, which sort of thing you would expect anyway. It's like a calibration report, really, isn't it? So confirming what you're actually getting. So I believe originally they were hoping to get 2.5 gigahertz bandwidth on these, and they actually exceeded that, which is why they've renamed it. I believe they got better result than they planned for, and so they increased it to 3 gigahertz instead of 2.5. Now that matters mostly for fast edges. If you're trying to do fast response times, things like that. It's not necessarily analog bandwidth that matters. It's more of a case of how quickly the probe can respond to a hard edge. Like I've got a pulsar here from Leo Bodner. That's got a really fast edge. I think it's like 30 picoseconds or something. And this probe would be better than measuring that than like a standard scope probe, for example. I mean, sure, there's a whole bunch of calculations and maths involved in doing these sorts of things. That's not my strength, to be honest. Main thing here is to have a look at this and play with that in the future. So watch out for that video. More items have arrived, so I can carry on. I've got some more pieces. Mechanic magnetic storage strip, and it's got double-sided tape. Right, so I've got this because on my shelf here in front of my oscilloscope I've got this bunch of stuff. That doesn't bode well. I've got these screwdriver stuff sitting in front of my oscilloscope on a shelf. Magnetic storage strip. Well, it's got a picture of tools stuck to it with cross and symbols and stuff. Screwdrivers mentioned. Okay. I'm pretty sure if it's magnetic, the screwdrivers are supposed to like stick to it, aren't they? Isn't that the whole point? This is ridiculous. Oh, let's try a lighter screwdriver. No, okay, a lighter one will stick to it. Barely. It barely works. But yeah, these ones here, no. Okay, it also shows a picture of cutters. Oh, cutters will work. Cutters are okay. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm a bit disappointed in that because I got it so that I could actually get my screwdrivers off my shelf. It looks like it's only going to work on... So that's quite disappointing. I wanted to get all the screwdrivers off the shelf. Let me show you. So sitting here in front of my scope, I have all these screwdrivers all sitting here, right? So they're all handy to use, really quick to grab. So when I'm working on things, it's not hard to get stuff. But it's kind of in the way of the equipment. I kind of want to clear the shelf out, which is why I got this. I was thinking, okay, I could get that and I'll stick this on the wall, and I could stick the screwdrivers to that. But obviously, this ain't going to work, is it? I think I might do a claim for that. Maybe that's why they included the double-sided tape, because the magnet doesn't bloody work, does it? It'll be links down below. I'm not sure I recommend that thing. Okay, some more clip lead things. So I showed these before previously. So little BNC to little J hook type clips, because there's actually really nice silicone here. Well, I think they're silicone anyway, but they're really flexible anyway. Very least they're highly plasticized PVC, and got those nice J hooks. And these are actually quite nice. I quite like them. So I bought some more. I've now got a few of these cables, so I thought I'd get another one. But I also got this type as well. Same sort of thing, same basic cable, but I've got a different end on them. Instead of having the J hooks, I've got these banana jacks, which are stackable. Stackable banana jacks. Yeah, well, they stack together like that, so I'm guessing they work. So yeah, I thought I'd get two different types like that. This I thought would be quite useful, because quite often I'm adapting from one type to another system to another. Having this much flying lead, those, I don't know, it's kind of an opening to get noise in, you know, having that much lead. But sometimes you want to have things separated, so it's not too surprising. But they look alright. I expect these are perfectly fine. I've got no reason to think they wouldn't be. They look like good quality leads. That's why I bought some more of this type, and I thought, well, I'll get another one as well, because it's a different style, and it could be useful going from things to, say, a multimeter, you know, input into a multimeter from something. So those look pretty good. Mystery product here from Zotek, Zoyi. Got no idea what that is. I wasn't expecting anything, so I guess we'll find out together. What's this? Well, that was fast. That was very fast. Cool. So this is some D2R bulbs. Now locally those bulbs are ridiculous money. Like they're $140 or something like that. Stupid money. I think I got a pair of these for $12. So yeah, there we go. There's the information on them. D2R, 12 volt, 35 watt, 5000 Kelvin. That's what they call them anyway. I'm not sure about the voltage actually being relevant, because I think it's more of a case of the actual converter system. But anyway, I don't know. But I think they actually run like 85 volt actually. But I've got a vehicle which has got one of these bulbs which are blown. It intermittently works. So I thought, well, I don't really want to spend, well, $300 basically on two bulbs for a car. I have to make sure they have the same colour and everything, because you got the different Kelvin ratings, right? So you have to make sure you got the same Kelvin rating. Otherwise, it looks weird, and I don't want to buy $300 worth of bulbs. I don't mind buying $30 worth of bulbs. I don't mind giving this a shot, even though these are really, really cheap. If they last for a year, so what? $30? You know, a tenth the price. If I have to buy one every year, I don't care. They can't even last that long. So now we've got this thing. Now this has had a bit of a hard trip. It's not meant to be curved like this, which is a bit disturbing. I might actually try and flatten it out a bit before I open it, in case the packaging is actually going to help it. Yeah, just unbending. It's marginally better. Not enough to do, I guess. Right, let's open it up. Cut. Oh, that is not looking good, is it? Yeah. That's what I thought. Very thin. Inadequate packaging. I can probably get it straightened back out very, very carefully. So I was trying to do it within the packaging itself, so it's kind of reversing what's happened to it. Anyway, yeah, it ain't helping, is it? Yeah, present for a wife. Don't tell her. Right, I think this would probably be the last thing for this mailbag. We're not sure yet. I probably do have more things coming. I've got a mystery item here from Zoyi, which is interesting. So I wasn't expecting anything else, I don't think. Just I've completely forgotten about something. LCR multimeter. Oh, okay. I don't remember. Did they ask me about this? I honestly don't remember. Battery test multimeter. LCR multimeter. Battery test multimeter. There we go. Is actually this one here, not that one there. Okay. Actually, yeah, I think I did actually mention something. Thinking about it. It's quite a small little thing. A bit like the Anning size of the Anning multimeter, that little small one. 4-terminal port. She's got a little cover on it, that's nice. So we've got standard leads, temperature lead, 4-wire Kelvin leads, USB-C charging cable, USB-C ports in the back. So this is like a battery tester and multimeter built into one unit. So we're doing a review on this thing soon enough. It's a ZTXR1. I did a battery test not long ago for Rev.C, but that's a dedicated battery tester. This is supposed to be multimeter and battery tester. Obviously it's put limited functionality, but it's still more functionality than just one thing. So watch out for this review coming out soon. I've done a lot of review items recently. I've had loads of things to review. It's been really good actually. It is much higher workload for me though. You know, if I have to do reviews, it means I've got to do 3 videos in a week, and it's busy. It's a busy workload because obviously my videos aren't, you know, 5 minutes or 10-minute videos. They're considerably longer than that, so they're a lot of work. But it's always great to get stuff to look at. I always appreciate getting review stuff, as long as it's something which is worth my time to look at it. Other videos to watch down below there. Subscribe over there if you're not already subscribed, and Patreon support link over there if you want to help support the channel, help me to buy things from Mailbag. Maybe bulbs for next year when these ones blow.